Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning into Mom Squad. This is a show where we talk all things parenting, and for all of us, we know that parenting includes clutter management on a daily basis. Every mom I know says it's a constant struggle to keep the house clean. They want to get organized, but it's overwhelming. Where do you even start? Well, today we are bringing in a professional organizer, Lynne Poulton, who not only has advice, but she has a way to get our kids involved, and we put it to the test. So joining me as co-host today is executive producer and amazing mom of two, Jenny Jordan. Thanks for doing this.
Of course, this is something we're both so passionate about.
We complain daily about the clutter and what the kids have and where the toys are all over the house. And do you feel bad about your house when you're looking at like these Instagram posts of everything's in a clear box and it's all organized and everything, and I'm like, I've just thrown it into a basket or it's underneath the bed?
Yes, of course. I think, actually, it's funny you say that because someone I follow, one of those people, those professional organizers on Instagram or something, recently put like, sometimes it's okay just to close the door.
Right.
So, you know, it's like,
nice.
Yes, because sometimes you just need to hide it and go.
Right.
Because I can't keep everything organized.
Well, and I feel like it's been a big trend, especially with the rise of Instagram and other social media sites, where I kind of allude to it in my interview with Lynn. You see a certain, especially high-profile organizational site that even color codes everything. Yes. And it's like the crayons are always in some specialty box or color-coded mason jars of crayons. It's like mine are broken, just in a Ziploc bag that has a hole in it. Like, I mean, like we are so awful when it comes to organizing that kind of stuff. And I have put money and time into trying to organize the playroom just for it to get destroyed 2 weeks later, and I don't have the time. And you ask the kids, like, hey, can you clean up your stuff? And then you get like the Gumby reaction of like, I don't wanna, and I don't. And that's how I feel on the inside too.
Yes, and it's like, oh, you want this aesthetically pleasing home, you know? Yeah. And then it's like, or maybe they will clean up, right?
Yeah.
But once they start cleaning up, guess what? They're playing again.
Right.
And you're like, well, that's great, but we're supposed to be doing cleanup time. Yeah. So it's like, how do you motivate them? Because I'm not motivated.
Well, and the other big thing that then I get on the kick of, okay, we have too much stuff. We have too many toys. We need to get rid of stuff.
Oh, yes.
We have to, get rid of a couple of different things. Get rid of some of the stuffed animals. Then it's always, no, but it's my favorite. No, but, and then I feel bad and I'm like, okay, you love this stuffed elephant so much. It's hard to emotionally detach. I mean, there are those of you out there that are like, they have no emotional attachment and they just throw it out and they have no qualms about it. But I'm like, oh, I don't want this to go into a landfill, but who takes it? And so then we just hem and haw over it. Right. And it stays in my house on the floor in the middle of a room.
Yes. And they'll be like, I love this one. I won it at the church fair. And you're like, oh, how, okay. Because you're like, that was a hand-me-down at the church fair, right?
Right.
And then it'll be like, you could throw this one out. Oh, the $20 one that you begged me for?
Right.
For Valentine's Day, that's the one? Okay.
Yeah. Or the one that you were gifted as a baby from your now dying grandmother or whatever it was, where it's like, that's the one you should keep.
Right.
Yes. So this is where Lynne Poulton is just amazing, because she had a certain formula for all of this, of being emotionally detached and getting those unwanted items out. She is a professional organizer. She runs her business wholly organized. She also came up with a game that helps kids get excited about cleaning and also throwing out toys. Take a look. When it comes to families, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big is the disorganization when you walk into a house with kids?
Yeah, so, it really, people are reaching out to me, so it's going to be high.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a 7 or 8, sometimes beyond 10. Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
It is.
As a parent of 3 young kids, I feel like the second I organize something, they get into that box or they get into it and then they get everything cluttered all over again. Yeah. So is it a never-ending battle, or can you guide us toward a more organized life here?
Well, so I would think about it in terms of good enough. Like what are you comfortable with? Organizing can be a really great tool that you teach your kids, right? So you want to be able to find what you need when you need it. establishing homes for things is very useful. So sometimes you have to have some randomness, or else you go nuts because you don't even know what some of these little pieces are,
right?
And so what goes with what. So doing things with the kids is useful, and it all depends on their age, right?
Yeah.
So you can't have like a 1.5-year-old sorting stuff, right?
Our expectations have to come down depending on the age.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the more you involve your kids rather than doing for, and this is the same with my clients. I don't do for my clients, I do with.
Okay.
Because if I went in, I'm not the organizer that goes in and like makes your house beautiful, because you wouldn't know where things are.
Yeah.
And then, or what you have. So when you're working with your kids, you get down there and you find out, what are they playing with, and there's some really great strategies. And one of my favorites is my friend Judith Kohlberg. She developed it, and it's called Friends, Acquaintances, and Strangers. And I use it with everybody, and especially with kids, because kids know who their friends are. Okay, so you over-personalize your stuff. Okay, so they know who their friends are. They hang out with their friends. Acquaintances, like you see now and again, maybe you dance with them, but you don't see them very often at school or whatever.
Right.
And strangers, you don't really hang out with strangers. Right? So you can look at your kids' toys in that way.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Look at like the stuffed animals. Who are your best friends that you want to play with all the time? And like those are the ones you keep. And the acquaintances, like, I don't know, I don't reach for that one. Well, why? I don't know, it's kind of ugly. I don't know, there's these feelings, right? And strangers, they always get stuck, sitting by themselves, never get played with. And so another principle you can teach your kids is donating. That they're, and taking your kids to a place where they see where things can be donated. So that's another principle that's helpful.
And then you've developed a game. This is why I'm bringing you in here, because you've developed a game to help make the organizational process fun for kids. So tell me about Declutter Go.
So I developed this game because people are overwhelmed. With where to start, and how do you teach your kids how to declutter? It's good to define what that means. To start, and having fun and playing a game. Why not? So it's really simple. So you roll the dice, and then you follow the prompts. So I'll just go through each one. So the first one is to revive. So this is thinking about what is going to get you kind of in the mood to declutter. So I have music, so drink water, hydrate, maybe get a snack, open the windows or go outside to kind of get some fresh air. Some aromatherapy maybe, pause and think, well, what am I doing this for anyway? And maybe your kid is like, I can never find anything. I don't know where all the pieces are to Mr. Potato Head or whatever, right? So it's like, okay, well, we're gonna find that stuff. So that's where you start with that, kind of getting yourself in the mode. And then donate, recycle, put away, finish it. Maybe there's a project to finish, toss, roll the dice. Okay, 3 things in the basement to finish.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so, if you go downstairs with your kids and you're like, we need to finish this art project. You started that, or finish building that, or, whatever it is, some kind of finishing project. So let's just say you rolled these and you got 3 donate. Okay, so let's go in your room and let's treasure hunt 3 things to donate. And you set the timer for whatever you land on. You can either take it times 5 minutes or times 10 minutes. I like to start with smaller numbers with kids. So and this is the time timer, which
I
dearly
love. I love those because then they see how much time they have left in the red. Yeah.
Yeah, I think every family should have a time timer, quite frankly. So you set your timer and you start. Because the thing is, like, well, where do we start? We just know we need to get this room in order.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
It's
gosh.
crazy.
I mean, yes, I always say, oh, just go clean the basement. And then
Right.
they're like, because I would be the same way.
Yeah, so that could be the thing, like, we're gonna work on the basement, and I want you to find, 3 things that need to be put away.
Yeah.
And then go do that. And so the way that you can play this game is just like that, like roll them and you all go do things together, or you could instruct everybody to just roll themselves. I'm gonna go to the basement, you're gonna go in the kitchen, do that. And then after you've done this 3 times, then you roll your reward. Star, that's whatever you want.
Okay.
So there's things like screen time, hobbies,
I love it.
relax.
Well, okay, so on your website, we'll get that advice for paper, and then also that's where we can order this game?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, decluttergo.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lynn, thank you so much.
It was really fun.
It was. You have helped. I have some chores for the kids to do now, so this is
well,
great.
keep the fun in it.
Yes, absolutely. Great ideas. Thank you.
Thank you.
And maybe you're thinking, hey, great idea, but will my kids actually use this game? So we put it to the test in our houses. Take a look at the reaction. I just got the Declutter Go game in the mail. It's after dinner right now. I just got it in the mail, just opened it up, and I was showing the girls how to play, and they have been jumping up and down.
So I go first.
You get to go first. And this is just to see how the game works.
Putting things away throughout the house.
Okay, putting things where they belong throughout the house. Okay, that's the action. How many things? 6. But if you want to do 9 things, you can.
Let's just do 6.
All right, we have to find 6 things to put where they belong in what room at a roll the orange one. Okay.
Living room.
Okay, what is that? That's the living room. Okay, so we would have to find 6 things from the living room to put away throughout the house. Now, if you do it, roll your reward. Fun time outside. I think that's what that means. Okay, and Millie, if you get tired, what's your break? Hold it. Water. Just drinking water. Okay, and then Etta, you have a very special one. This is for all of the paper clutter, which we have all over the place. Shred it.
What does that mean?
You ready to roll?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, okay, let's see. Where are we gonna go first? That would be this one. Oh no, look what you got.
You gotta go to the bathroom, Jax. No.
Yes.
Oh yeah, in the bathroom. I was cleaning my room a little bit because it's kind of messy.
Oh. So were you doing that for the camera or for the game?
I was doing it for the game.
We try to recycle them and give them to other people who can wear them.
Yeah, like I gave to my friend Aubrey. I gave her to her little cousin a little PJs I used to have.
Oh, great, perfect.
I know what I should recycle.
Do you need this paper anymore?
I like to keep this because I like to read a lot at night like this.
So what are you gonna do to relax as your reward? Oh, take a nap? Yes, Jax, we could all use a nap after. They said, why do you want to relax? He's like, I'll just take a nap on the counter, which is like,
On the counter?
I
Well,
have
is
to
it clean?
say, I think I texted you right after we
Yeah.
did it. And love the game. I got him excited about it. But probably what worked the best was me having a camera on them. They got real into like, oh, do you see me clean?
Right.
My daughter went and pre-cleaned her room so that when we came in and filmed, the bed was made, And so I was kind of laughing because they sort of made it like their own YouTube. Because they see that, on YouTube.
Right.
And so I thought that was neat. I think I love the game though, because I think you can personalize it too. We were talking about that a little bit. You know, the one that he got was the bathroom, which kind of gave us a really funny reaction. But I don't need them to pick up stuff in there. It's their bedrooms, it's their toy room, it's our basement. That's where their clutter kind of collects.
Yeah, and we did like a second roll when we got living room. We just remodeled our living room, and I have been like, nothing, no clutters coming in here. Like, we are still like empty. We need some furniture in there. So they haven't really been bringing their stuff in there. The basement is where they have all their toys. That's where we need the concentration. Bathroom, at first I was like, but then I told them, why don't we, instead of donating stuff from the bathroom, why don't we throw things out, find things to throw things out? So that's where I figured we can find like the old toothbrush that they randomly keep, or like some of this stuff we should, but there's that emotional attachment, throw out some of the bath toys, things like that. With my kids, so I didn't show the full reaction of us actually doing the game because I'm lazy. No, we were so excited about it, and actually I kind of had them unbox before bedtime, and that's when I was just showing them, because as soon as I opened it, they got so excited about it. Yeah. And my 4-year-old kind of got into it. Like, she was like, okay, she went and found, you know, like we rolled like 3 things from your room that you can donate. And she actually did come down with 2 Minnie Mouse stuffed toys, where I'm like, okay, Minnie Mouse is out. And then I forget something else, some other stuffed toy. Yeah. And didn't seem to care. Like, she was like, here, you told me to do this. And she didn't ask for them again. So she did it. Wasn't excited as my 7-year-old, Millie. She was jumping up and down, like jumping up and down. I can't remember if I got it on camera or not. And she was like, this is the best game ever. And she has asked every day to play that game.
She loves it.
Every day. So paper, like there's that, you know, option of paper organization. They didn't really understand that, but I explained to them, I was like, you know, you guys keep some of your homework, or you keep some of your art projects. That's where you can organize some of that. I go, if you want to keep it or throw it away. They were like, what is shredding? I'm like, we don't have to shred anything. But so I adjusted it depending on what it was and what our needs were. But it was something they got excited about, what reward they were going to roll or what their break would be. Yes. Even with the meditation, they were like, cool, we get to, like, you know, pretend to meditate. So we haven't put it into use for very long, because you and I just tested out the game. But I have a feeling that it'll at least be something that every once in a while I bring out. I don't, if I was doing it every day, I might think they might get sick of it. But, you know, I don't think that's what Lynne meant it for. It's for those times where it's like, okay, we have a donation truck coming, or it's spring cleaning, we got to get this room organized, what can we throw out? And I feel like it does help keep it not so overwhelming.
When it gives them responsibilities, and they're very, like, things that they can do, which I love, because it's, you know, I'll be like, oh, you know, we're cleaning up, someone's coming over. I'll clean the bathroom. You know, and it's like, well, mommy could do that one, you know, and it's like, no, I love using the brush, which is great, don't get me wrong. I want to instill that. I would like them to do that. But, you know, sometimes it's like, well, let mommy clean this part, you know what I mean? And so it gives them ways that they can help clean, especially take responsibility for their own stuff. It was eye-opening to me that I left whenever my daughter's more than willing to clean up, but she's not giving away this piece of paper that was a story she reads at bed, and I've never seen her do that. We read every well, but, you know, I'm like, okay, well, then let's find a place for it. So she did put it in a drawer, as you saw, but then I saw it back out just randomly, you know, and I'm like, well, I can't throw it away because she already said she likes it. So I think that is, the paper stuff could be really good, though, to kind of be like, we don't need this anymore. Let's detach ourselves. You made this beautiful artwork. It brought so much happiness to our family. And now it's time to go.
Yeah, something else a long time ago I saw was you either get a box or an art folder. Have you ever seen those portfolio folders where they are pretty big, depending on how big the artwork is that's coming home? And let's just make the goal every school year. You only get that amount of space for what you keep, like for your whole life. Like, this is your artwork that you're gonna take away with you when you get your own house, which I'm sure it'll just end up in the garbage. And they have to edit it at the end of every school year of, okay, I don't love this one as much as I thought, or yes, I want to keep this, handprint penguin or whatever it is forever. Like that's the stuff that you can do. I don't know. I saw that.
Right.
Realistically, do we have time for that? But if we roll that die,
we do keep the box with the folders for every grade, and so then we put.
That's a great idea.
We put the report cards in there, special notes or something, and then their art. I originally was going to write like a beautiful note to them and tell them how much I love them every year. Maybe next year.
Right. Oh, I was journaling all the funny things they said. Up until I had a third, and she doesn't have anything written down, and I forget her first word. I know it was it was a complicated one. I'm like, I'm never going to forget that she had this three-syllable first word. Yes, I did.
Yes.
But anyway, overall, the organization can get overwhelming, but I feel like this is a good first step. Lynne has this on her website, this game, Declutter Go. If you Google it, you're going to find it. But it's, again, wholly organized, WHOLLY. We have a Facebook page.
Yes,
like it's 2007. We got a Facebook page where we can put all this information. So if you've seen a QR code that's been popping up, hold your camera up to that. That will take you to the Facebook page where you can join us. It's a private group. No mom shaming allowed. This is where we're going to share all this information. And then we want to hear from you. We want to get some story ideas about what you are struggling with as a parent or what you would like more information on. Jenny and I are on it all the time, trying to monitor and respond to as many people as we can. So
share your organizing tips. What do you do to motivate your kids? I know the cleanup song worked for us for a good year.
Yeah.
That one has faded off so much.
Right.
But I think that's a great place too, because I feel like the best tips come from other moms.
Yes.
And it's not just the professional organizers. It's the moms that say, hey, we actually tried it and it actually works.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so we want to hear from you. Go to the Mom Squad with Maureen Kyle Facebook page, and we will see you right back here next time.